A very good morning to all of you friends. Today we are going to study about respiration in human beings. Now in a previous video we have studied about the different types of respiration. Okay, the different pathways by which glucose is oxidized into different products, either in presence of oxygen, due to lack of oxygen, or in absence of oxygen. Now today we are going to study about respiration in human beings. You know, in human beings respiration is aerobic type. Aerobic type means glucose is first converted into pyruvate or pyruvic acid, and then pyruvic acid in presence of oxygen oxidizes to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. The carbon dioxide and water vapor are released during exhalation, and energy is stored in the mitochondria of our cells as ATP molecules. And by the help of these energy currencies or ATP molecules, energy is released, and by the help of this energy, we perform various day-to-day works. So let us begin with respiration in human beings. For respiration in human beings, we will study the human respiratory system. Let us see what are the different parts of the human respiratory system. Okay, let us start with the nasal cavity and the buccal cavity. So the nasal cavity and the buccal cavity together, they form a common passage through which the air can be exchanged. That common passage is called pharynx. Okay, PHRAGNX. So that common passage is called pharynx. Just after the pharynx there is larynx. Okay, larynx is called the voice box. It is situated here. That means the voice box. Here some vocal cords are present that help us during speaking. So that place is called larynx. Okay, in adolescent boys it is also called Adam's apple. In between the pharynx and the larynx there is a small structure that is called glottis, an opening that is known as glottis, and this glottis is covered by epiglottis, a muscular flap-like structure that closes the, you can say, windpipe when we swallow food. So just now I told you pharynx is the common passage. If I draw the food pipe here, it will be somewhere here. So food pipe will be this side behind. Okay, windpipe is in front. So there are two pipes, the windpipe and the food pipe. So when we are swallowing the food in this way, if we swallow the food in this way from the buccal cavity through the pharynx into the food pipe, at that time the windpipe is closed by the help of this tiny structure that is called epiglottis. The opening is called glottis and the muscular flap-like structure that is called epiglottis. Okay, so pharynx, then comes larynx, then comes the actual, you can say, windpipe. So trachea, this is called trachea. This windpipe joins the, you can say, it helps in exchange of gases in between the atmosphere as well as the lungs. So this is the windpipe. Okay, now this windpipe has some cartilage ring-like structures, rings of cartilage. This cartilage, they are bound by some muscular cells or tissues, and during respiration they help in a proper adjustment of our thoracic cavity. Okay, so that if air is not present inside the windpipe, it does not collapse. So the cartilage, rings of cartilage, they are present and they prevent the trachea or the windpipe from collapsing. Then comes the bronchi. So the trachea divides. See, if you see the diagram carefully, you can see the trachea divides to form two bronchi, singular bronchus. This bronchus then again divides to form minute bronchioles. Okay, thinner bronchioles, more narrow and thin bronchioles. This structure, whole structure, these two are called the lungs. So the lungs are actually made up of bronchioles, and the bronchioles, they terminate to form some sac-like very minute structures which are called alveoli. So the lungs are actually made up of bronchioles and alveoli. So it is spongy in nature. The lungs, they are spongy in nature because they contain millions of air sacs which are called alveoli. So what are the structures once again? The nasal cavity, the buccal cavity, the pharynx, the larynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs. The bronchia divides to form bronchioles, and the bronchioles terminate to form alveoli. This brown muscular structure is called diaphragm. Diaphragm is present in between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. Okay, so diaphragm is a muscular tissue or a muscular flat sheet-like structure that is present in between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. So they separate the body into two separate compartments so that the organs can be accumulated inside our body. Now these lungs, they are present in the thoracic cavity, and in between the two lungs there is the heart is located. Okay, the heart is situated in between the two lungs. Now in our body, this is the right lung. So the right lung has 3 lobes. Okay, 3 lobes means it is divided into 3, you can say, sac-like structures or lobes. So one, the middle one, and this one. 3 are there. 3 lobes are there. Whereas the left lung consists of only 2 lobes. Okay. Also, in some books you will read that the right lung is slightly larger than the left lung. So these are because in order to accumulate, or you can say pack, the heart and the lungs together in our thoracic cavity. Got it? So these are the different parts of the respiratory system in human beings. And also the lungs, they are covered by 2 membranes which are called pleural membrane. Okay, pleural membrane. This pleural membrane is a protective covering that covers the lungs. So these are different parts. Now what are the parts of the human respiratory system? You already know. So if the question comes, what is a passage of movement of oxygen from the atmosphere to the lungs? So you will have to list all these different parts of the human respiratory system. Okay. Now let us see the mechanism of human respiratory system. Just now I told you that the type of respiration in human being is aerobic in nature. Aerobic in nature means here glucose combines with oxygen, okay, 6 molecules of oxygen to form 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water and energy. So this is the, you can say, balance reaction for respiration. Okay, so aerobic respiration takes place in almost all the cells and tissues of our body except formation of lactic acid in the muscle cells during vigorous exercise. That is an exceptional case. Now when we are respiring, 2 mechanisms take place. One is breathing and the other is actual respiration that takes place in the tissues and cells of our body. That means in the cells in the mitochondria. Now these 2 mechanisms or these 2 terms, that is breathing and respiration, they are a little bit different from each other. There are some differences among them. For example, breathing means taking in of air rich in oxygen, and breathing out, that means exhalation, means removal of air rich in carbon dioxide. So breathing is confined from the atmosphere up to the lungs only. Okay, this movement of air in and out from the lungs into the atmosphere, this is called breathing. So breathing is a physical process. Enzymes are not involved in it, and it consists of 2 steps, that is inhalation and exhalation. Inhaling of oxygen, air rich in oxygen, and exhaling air rich in carbon dioxide. This is breathing. Okay, it is a physical process, not a biochemical process. Whereas respiration is a biochemical process in which enzymes, a number of enzymes are required. It is a very complex process that takes place in our body. Respiration takes place when oxygen from the alveoli are supplied to the tissues and cells, where oxygen helps in burning or oxidation of food and produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. So it is a very complex biochemical process. Now in respiration, oxygen combines with food to give carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, now these are some differences between breathing and respiration. Now in case of when we are breathing in or we are breathing out, there are some organs which help in breathing in and breathing out. You know, the main important organs are the lungs, a pair of lungs that we have that help in exchange of gases. Now other than the lungs, there is the role of the rib cage, okay, that the bony structure that forms the thoracic cavity where the lungs are present. So the rib cage and also the diaphragm, the muscular sheet like structure that helps in, you can say, inhalation and exhalation. So there are three organs, that is the lungs, the ribs and the diaphragm. Okay, the ribs, when we are taking in of oxygen, okay, when we are taking or inhaling oxygen, see, when we are inhaling oxygen, then our rib cage moves upward and forward, and when we are exhaling, at that time the rib cage moves downward and backward. Okay, so when we are inhaling, the thoracic cavity becomes voluminous. That means the volume of the thoracic cavity increases to take in more oxygen. At that time the rib cage, they become lifted upward and in front, that means forward. Just the opposite happens during exhalation, when we are removing carbon dioxide from our nasal cavity. Okay, and the diaphragm also, by the help of their movement, they help in inspiration as well as in expiration. Okay, inhalation is also called inspiration and exhalation is also called exhalation. So in this way oxygen is supplied to the lungs. Now from the lungs they go to the tissues by the help of hemoglobin that is present in the RBC. You know, the alveoli, we will study about the role and different, we will study about the diagram of alveoli in our next class. But you should know that oxygen is carried by the lungs in the alveoli, and the alveoli, they are made up of very thin delicate membrane, and those membrane are you can say interconnected with capillaries of blood. Okay, and they easily help in exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we are inhaling oxygen, that oxygen reaches to our alveoli. From the alveoli, by the help of blood, they reach the tissues and the cells. So who carries oxygen from the alveoli to the tissues? The respiratory pigment called hemoglobin. This respiratory pigment is present in our body in the RBC cells. Okay, but in some insects and all, oxygen and carbon dioxide, they directly take place, the transportation takes place through plasma in blood. You know, blood is having two important parts. One is the solid part that consists of the blood corpuscles, the other is the liquid part that consists of plasma. Okay, so oxygen is basically transported by the help of hemoglobin, whereas carbon dioxide is more soluble in plasma, that means blood. So the transportation of carbon dioxide does not take place by the help of hemoglobin pigment, but as carbonates and bicarbonates, it is dissolved in plasma. In dissolved state, by the help of plasma, carbon dioxide comes to the alveoli, from where it is released. Now the movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place according to diffusion. Diffusion means where the concentration of oxygen is more. From that place oxygen moves inside, like the concentration of oxygen is more outside in the atmosphere. So from there they will move inside our body. The concentration of carbon dioxide is more inside our body, so it will move from inside our body to the atmosphere. Okay, so these gases, exchange of these gases takes place by the help of the process called diffusion. Okay, so these are the mechanisms of, you can say, respiration in our body. Please go through the NCERT book. Next day we will discuss some more topics about respiration in human beings. For the time being, I have given you some question answers. You will write these question answers, okay, like the role of alveoli, like the role of hemoglobin. These are given. Some questions are given. Please go through the note, go through your NCERT book and try to answer these questions, as well as please draw this diagram in your biology class or copy. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video.